What's up, everybody? Jason Swenk here, and got another exciting episode about how an agency owner went from freelancer to bringing on a partner to a thriving agency. So it's a really good episode, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, Chris, welcome to the show.
Hey Jason, how's it going, man?
Yeah, man, excited to have you on and talk about your journey as a freelancer to agency owner to successful agency owner. So tell us a little bit about who you are and what do you do.
Yeah, sure. So my name's Chris. I work out of our office here in the Dallas area, and I didn't always live here. Actually, I just moved here about 6 months ago, and the reason I moved here is for this business and for this partnership. I had been living in Las Vegas before that. It's kind of where I'm from and where I grew up. But Aaron's my business partner. We formed an agency about a year and a half ago, and have been working on the agency this whole time. Kind of forming the partnership, getting all the business stocks going, and earning clients and new business, and eventually got to the point where we were like, hey, let's actually own a building. Actually, we bought a building, and let's run our office out of the Dallas area. That's where he lives, where his family's at. And I moved down here. So yeah, that was about, like I said, about 6 months ago. And we've been doing pretty good work since then. So it's exciting times, moving around, doing different stuff, and trying to grow the agency, and deal with all those hurdles, and having fun while doing it.
Yeah. What kind of take us back, kind of what made you think about transitioning? Because there's, we have a quite a bit of, probably I would guess, freelancers that listen to the show that want to go into creating an agency one day. Where were you at, like, in like going, well, let's make this legit. Let's kind of like, let's start hiring people. Let's like bring on a partner. Like, where were you at?
Yeah, sure. Great question. I was recently out of the agency world. I had worked for a couple different marketing agencies, a few different people, and realized that, I could do all this stuff on my own, and, get to keep all the money as opposed to splitting it with somebody else, or only getting paid a commission or something like that. So I did freelance for a couple of years after my agency world, and got to the point where you kind of start to feel like you've niched up a little bit. You have a few little bits of expertise, and mine was kind of the project management side of the equation. I was really good at coordinating efforts. I was really good at finding, subcontractors to do certain bits of work, and Aaron had actually been one of those people. So I had a client that needed, really expert level paid search management, and that was not me. I've gotten better as a result of working with Aaron, but that was not me. So I actually contracted him, and he does a fantastic job. And I was like, hey, man, I have other projects that I need help with. You should totally check these out. And we kind of just kept working together, and he did the same for me. So it was like, hey, I have a few projects where coordination is really needed. And, why don't you hop over here? And we started communicating with each other's clients. And it kind of happened, by osmosis. But the problem we were running into was scale. You can only do so much as an individual, and you want to try to make more money. You want to try to scale and have more freedoms. And the more and more we talked, our answer to that scale problem was, hey, why don't we work together? We'll both kind of champion these different sides of the business. And, if we need to subcontract out more, we will. But then, we have a brand we could put behind it. We'll look more official. We'll have a couple of people. Maybe we'll spin up a website, and we'll earn more business that way, just by kind of pretending to be an agency, so to speak. And then it became, hey, this is actually working. If people are buying into what we're doing, and hey, we need to hire someone, let's do that. And then when you start hiring people, you actually like have to be legit. You have to file with the state, and all that stuff. So we went down that road, and it's been working. So it's just been kind of a road of, hey, it keeps working. Let's keep doing it.
What's been, like, if you could look back at last year, right? Like, as you guys were getting going and that kind of stuff, what was the main focus of starting the agency that you felt like you had to kind of get over?
Um, I mean, the main focus, big thing we've had hurdles with is like delegation, feeling that you don't have to do everything, and, trying to be okay with that. So, getting tasks out, trusting that, there's somebody else that can do some of that stuff, and really operational, internal things are challenging because you have a relationship with a client. And if you come from the freelance world, you're everything to that person. You're the relationship, you're the fulfillment, you're the invoicing person, you're everything with that. And it's almost like your children, right? Or your pets or something like that you're dealing with. So
Mhm.
trying to step away from that and focus on, like, what your true expertise is inside of the team is a challenging bit. I think it's oftentimes overlooked a little bit, but once you break through that, then scale becomes a lot more easy because now you're doing your thing. You got other team members that are doing other things, and that was a big part of it. Also, earning business was a tricky thing too, because we're lean, right? So you don't have a ton of money to be advertising, and you have to try to really leverage your relationships and try to make that stuff work. I mean, I can't tell you how many Upwork proposals I've put out in my lifetime. It's an ungodly amount, and same with Aaron. But you grind up, you earn new business, you earn new relationships, and then those roll into other relationships, and then you can be part of cool groups like the one we're a part of, where you learn even more tricks and tactics and strategies, which is cool.
Very cool. Yeah, I look at it as kind of as you're starting the agency, the main focal point is because you have to get to a point where you can actually afford people a lot of times. And I look at it as you need to focus entirely on lead gen and converting sales. And then I look at, then you get to a point where, and tell me if you guys have gone through this, where now marketing and the lead gen, or I like to kind of say, especially in the very beginning, you're creating this automated lead generation, right? You have this pipeline coming to you, and then you have to start going, man, I can't handle all these sales calls. I can't handle, the follow up. Like literally, marketing's breaking sales, and I find like as you kind of keep going up, your marketing's job is to break sales, and then sales jobs is to break operations, and then your
Yeah.
job
Fair.
as like the owner is really to kind of fix the stuff that the teams are breaking constantly, and it's a constant like boom 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 boom, because as you just keep going up and up, what got you there is not going to get you to the next part. Have you guys found that yet?
Yeah, so it's something we deal with constantly. You have to have the pipe running, and you have to have new opportunities coming through. And I was in sales for a long time, and sales really do fix everything. It's kind of the motto: is if you can just get more sales, then you can afford more people, and you can afford to potentially lose something. And never really want to talk about losing a client, but it's always a fact of running an agency and being in the industry is that you lose clients, and it hurts when you don't have a pipe coming, feeding new opportunity. It hurts worse. So if you can have sales coming in, then the potential loss because maybe something wasn't fully optimized, somebody didn't have the time to move to something, or something, the relationship just didn't work out, or you have a toxic relationship that you've been hanging on to because you needed it. Now you have the confidence to say, well, I don't have to spend my time there. I have confidence in the pipe, and that's like really the key. So we're actively in that process right now and trying to optimize the funnel. A lot of our growth has been because of our relationships and our ability to kind of grow those clients and do more work in those areas or get referrals. So the pipe now is like a lot of my focus actually is on that right now. So we have things we're doing to try to bring those in, and it's working, and sales will
Mhm.
fix everything, and then we'll solve our next big bubble of growth, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. The big thing I find is pricing. And so a lot of times you go, well, let's just do more sales, but we don't think about raising the prices and increasing the pricing, and looking at going, well, if we bring on more sales, we're going to have to bring on more levels, more people. And so they
Hmm.
bring on more people, but they didn't raise their price. And then at the end of the year, you look back and you're like, holy cow, I made less than I did last year. And we actually were
Did more work.
a lot, yeah, we were bigger, we did more work. Like, I'm so confused. And it really comes, to the pricing. And that's one of the easiest things I find, that when agencies really can kind of get from one level, to the next level. I look at it as kind of like climbing a mountain, right? Like you got base camp, and then you get like the climbing level, and then you get to the crux, and then you get to the crest, and then the summit. Most people kind of, as they're building and climbing, they're not laying the right foundation or putting kind of the safety nets on in order to hold you up, because it just like, I remember I went through this many times, and maybe you're going through this now. It seems like where like you'll self sabotage yourself in sales because and this is why you need to bring on a salesperson, because they don't care about operations. They just they're like, I just want to sell. But you're
Right.
psychologically, as when the owner of the agency is actually selling, you're going, holy cow, I don't know, like I don't want to break operations. But it's a
Hmm.
natural progression. You got, like, when you're working out, you're constantly breaking down the muscle in order for it to rebuild. And in the very beginning, I look at turnover as a good thing, because your original clients are not going to be your, probably the clients for you in the next couple of years. Do you see that as well?
Yeah, you kind of have to run before you walk, in a sense. Bring people on and break operations. I think that's a great way to put it, because you like have to force yourself into that position, even though it's not going to be comfortable. And it goes back to the pipe too, is having confidence that there's going to be another opportunity. And I think that relates to the sales thing as well. Is that you can be confident in the pricing and the higher pricing you need to be charging, even if that person says no, you're confident you have another opportunity that's going to happen soon, so that you can afford to, be picky and say, look, well, this is what we charge. And by the way, when you have more team members and you're having a more robust team, you're doing better work. You're providing a better service. So you should charge more for that service. It's not just you individually. And hopefully by this point you've learned a lot and you've become, an expert in your field, and you should be charging more for that because it's value. And that's another really big hurdle we've faced over our start here is pricing. What we were charging a year ago for services is not even close to what we're charging now. I mean, we joke about it all the time. It's like, you remember when we used to just be happy for like $500 a month, for a client? Now it's like, no way, we wouldn't even be in the room to talk to that person for that much. And it's not really an ego thing as much of it is like a recognizing that you really do have value and you really do provide a great service, and having confidence in that.
That's awesome. Well, this has all been amazing. Is there anything I didn't ask you that you think would benefit the audience?
Um, no, I would just say, keep at it. If you are one of those freelancers that's trying to grind up, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and there are plenty of niches out there for you to find something to work on. There's lots of problems to solve. So keep at it, and keep listening to Jason because he's full of great info.
No. Thanks so much for coming on the show. And what's the website people can go and check the agency out?
Yeah, so we're Genius Digital Marketing. The website is geniusdm.com.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show. You guys, you provided tons of value to our listeners. If you guys enjoyed this episode and you really want to kind of step up your game in your agency and really understand what exactly you need to focus on, what are the systems in place, or what are the systems that you need to actually build in your agency to actually get to the next level and to get on the way where the whole business is not depending on you. But my whole goal is for you not to be, in the business. I want you to work on the business. And if that's the case, I want you guys to check out the agency playbook. So go to jasonswank.com/playbook, request an invite to it, and we'll break down the 8 systems for you to go check out. And until next time, have a swank day.